Hello, this is Andrine, a Jewish American priestess, coming to you this evening with another Hebrune reading. I'm going to do a one and done today about what's coming up for this next little bit of time as we come through the middle of April of 2023. Just finishing up Pesach where I am, and we're in the first week of the Omer. Just finished the first week of the Omer. So moving from our point of liberation toward revelation. Let's pull out some Hebrunes today. Starting at the top, we have the letter Nun. Lower right corner is the letter Aleph. We have got the letter Yud in the lower left. At the very bottom we have the letter Tzadi. Upper left is the letter Het. And upper right is the letter Tav. Okay. So the way I read these is we start at the top with what's coming down from above, what's coming down from the divine right now. And we have the letter Nun, very top and center. And the letter Nun is humility. We're being asked by the divine to find our humility, to find a place where we can bow our head and remain faithful and loyal. Not to be humiliated, but to have appropriate humility right now in this point of time, right after the miracle has happened. Nun is also the first letter of the word Nes, which means miracle. So we've just come through the Red Sea, and we've had the miracle, and we need to remain humble in the face of that. It is the foundation of locomotion as well in the Sefer Yetzirah. So we're talking about moving forward. We're just starting our journey. We're starting to build up momentum as we move forward on our journey. So that's the top, what's coming down from the divine, humility as well as locomotion. The lower right corner, this is what's known about our situation. And we have the letter Aleph, the very first letter of the Aleph Bet, which speaks to the oneness of the divine. The divinity above with the Yud in the upper right corner, the divinity below with the Yud in the lower corner, and that connection of the Vav between, both connecting and separating the divine above and the divine below. Knowing that we are one with the divine, that there is only one God, and it is in all things. That Aleph, that silent letter that begins all things, that breath, it is the mother letter of air. So that breath, that intake of breath before we begin to speak, the intake of breath. That's what we know about our situation. We've just taken an inhale. And what's unknown about our situation, we have the letter Yud here, which is that one point. Those points that make up all the letters. You have to have a Yud in every single letter, several Yuds in some letters. So it's the seed. A seed has been planted. It's the foundation of sexuality. So there's something about a seed being planted in ways of creation. Something is being created here. We've taken that breath in, and maybe we're unable to see the seed that's been planted because it's underground. It's the springtime. Things haven't quite broken through the earth yet. So what's unseen is that seed below the ground, that first letter of the divine name, the Yud He Vav He, and it comes down to that one point, the one atom that makes up all of creation. So I love that we've got the one here and the Yud, which is also one point, but it is the number 10, so it's an ultimate manifestation of oneness. And coming up from the bottom, the root cause of our situation, we have the letter Tzadi. And Tzadi is the letter that begins the word tzadik, meaning righteous. or justice, tzedek, which is justice. And it is the letter that sort of looks like a tree, so it's the roots there, the roots of justice right there. And it is the letter that corresponds to the tribe of Asher, which also reflects back to the goddess Asherah, who is venerated through the trees. So I love that we have these roots here, these roots in the ground, coming up from the bottom, that are all about justice. They're all about righteousness. They're all about the veneration of the nature in our world. And we need to know that those roots are firm and solid. And below us here, that root of justice. So that's what's helping us to remain stable and solid in this time. In the upper left corner, we have the letter Chet, and it is in the position which represents that which is a challenge or a fear right now. And our challenge and fear right now is the letter Chet, which is the number 8. So it speaks to infinity. It has this correspondence with the infinite, 8 being one more than 7. That's one more than all the days of creation. So there's this correlation with the infinite, as well as the number 8 on its side looking like an infinity symbol. And the letter Chet is about contracts and covenants. It looks like a marriage canopy, a chuppah. And so it has that connotation of we're making covenants or contracts with either with the divine or with another person, or maybe even with ourselves. It's the first letter of the word chai, which means life, and also the first letter of the word choshek, which means darkness. So the fears and the concerns and the struggles right now might be around whatever contracts or covenants we're trying to make with the divine or with ourselves or with another person. It might be around just life itself being a struggle right now, and darkness, which is always part of life, but can seem very challenging at times. So maybe we're struggling right now with this idea of the infinite, this idea of a contract and covenant that may go on and on forever, and also the life and the darkness. So those are our struggles right now. And our advice right now is the letter Tav. The letter Tav is the final letter of the Aleph Bet. It's the final letter of the word Emet, meaning truth. And it is a signature or a stamp or a seal. So it's the advice from where I'm sitting seems to be saying, make that contract, come to some final decision. It is a completion letter. It's the letter that is the last letter. So something needs to be finished here, something we need to seal up and walk away from, maybe. The letter Tav is also the letter that rules over the moon in the sky. So maybe there's something mysterious right now that we don't quite understand. It is the letter that I see as corresponding with the patriarch Avraham, who is the one who made lots of contracts and covenants with the people around as he traveled through various areas. And so he was one who was quite comfortable making those contracts and signing those deals. So even though it's frightening right now, maybe with the chet to make a contract or a covenant, I think our advice here is saying we should do that. We should sign the thing that we need to sign and then move forward, because we've got this idea of locomotion here with the nun, and we know that the divine is with us, with the aleph and with the yud underneath, and that we've got these strong roots in justice and righteousness that's coming up from below. So as we, even if we do fear life and darkness, it's time to sign the deal and move forward with the nun. I'm going to pull out one more letter here to put a central sort of final seal on this reading as well. And the letter that's coming out is, hey, this is perfect. the letter He, which begins the word Hineni. Here I am, present and ready for service to the divine. The He is the letter that is affiliated with the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of the divine within us. And that's perfect for today, is the 1 week of the Omer, Malchut Shebachesed, which is to say sovereignty within love. And that presence, that Shekhinah presence which exists inside of us, is right here for us right now. The He is the number 5 in Gematria, and it has that connotation of the 5 fingers on the hand, so a little bit of speaking about taking action. It's the foundation of sight in the Sefer Yetzirah. The word light appears 5 times in the creation story. And so there's something about illumination, being able to see our way forward with sight here. And it is the letter that corresponds to this month, the month of Nisan, that we are in right now, as we come through Passover, just finishing up our travel across the Reed Sea into the wilderness, not really knowing what's coming, but trusting. And I love that He is also corresponding to the liver in the body. The liver in the body, which is the filtration organ. It helps us to discern what is healthy for us and what is toxic and needs to be released. So as we come through on our journey right now, having to leave in haste from whatever narrow place we've been in, we need to discern what's important to bring with us and what do we need to let go right now. This is a month of release, letting go of that which is too heavy to carry with us on our flight. So as we sit in presence in this Hineni energy, where we speak to being available for service to the divine, whatever that looks like, it's a beautiful time to really let go of all the things that we're holding on to. He is 2 letters of the divine name, the Yud He Vav He, and so it's about that one point, and then presence, and then connection and presence again. Showing up, being present is sort of half of being there for divinity. So when you hear your name called by the divine, be sure to be ready to answer, Hineni, here I am, available and ready for service. Thank you for joining me on this reading today. I hope you have a beautiful second half of Nisan, and I hope that you can find the presence that you need right now, being rooted in righteousness, being here with appropriate humility. And even if there's challenges around darkness in life, be sure to sign what it is you need to sign and move forward into the presence. Have a wonderful Shabbat, and we'll see you here next time.